I always knew that Monaco was not going to be an easy weekend, and plus Monaco, I think it can always be quite chaotic. But that's all right. I mean, I think we had a good direction where we wanted to work in, and now, it takes time. Step by step, we'll try to improve that. We still have a quick car, but some tracks just work a little bit better for us than others. And I think here now, it's not only the track layout; it's just also now dealing with the weather, like how wet it's going to be. We just have to wait and see. But naturally, of course, the gaps have closed a bit, but that's all right.
I'm not thinking about the championship yet, but definitely the target is to be able to win races every weekend. We are, I think, improving more than anybody else in the last 7-8 months, and we need to keep focusing on the process more than on the outcome. The outcome will only be the result if the good outcome will only be the result of hard work and work well done. So we are really focusing on the process, on our weaknesses, on how we can optimize every single aspect of the car. And by doing just that, we will get to the point where we are in contention of a win every single weekend. But that's, of course, the target, because as much as it felt really good in Monaco, now we need to turn the page and look on what's ahead. And we want to win the World Championship. That's the target, and for that we still have to do steps forward.
But, just as into the last few weekends, we've been very competitive, and I guess we just kind of come into every race with a good amount of optimism and a chance that we could, if we perform well, if I do a good job, if the team perform well and get the most out of the car, then we have an opportunity to do so. So it's nice knowing that in the back of our mind that could happen, but we don't come into it like we could win this weekend. I think we just do our job, and if we win, then we win.
I think it's always been the same between Charles and me. He goes through very good patches of performance. I go through another good patch. I think the important thing is that when he's having a good race, I'm also having a good race and finish P3. When I win in Australia, he finished second, and that's what makes us such a strong team pairing, and that's why we have so many points in the championship, and we are even considering fighting Red Bull for the constructors. No? So I think it's great to see him win in Monaco. It was great to get the win in Australia, but the important thing is that we're always there, pushing each other, being next to each other in quali and race, and yeah, it's a good situation to have.
I hope it's not as severe as it was in Monaco with our ride issues that we had there. We've done some work, some analysis, and I think it's great to have straight away a sort of a similar challenge to Monaco in many aspects. So it will be an interesting one, but I do expect us to be a little bit stronger. I don't think it will be our strongest track, but I really hope that we can be fighting up there.
Yeah, I think we can be pretty confident that we'll be somewhere in the mix, which is pretty exciting to say. I don't know if we'll be the favourites, so to speak, but I don't really know who you can say are the favourites at the moment. So excited to see where we come out. Hopefully it's better than finishing 11th. I think we're definitely in the mix now, and I think the last few weekends have proven that on very different tracks.
I've kind of learned that you need to set your own goals, and if you achieve those goals, even if it's not a victory or a podium, but you've fulfilled or you've achieved what the maximum of the car is capable of, you've got to take that as a victory, and you've got to pick yourself up and go again, because if you're not careful, I think you can quickly let an external situation spiral out of control and start hindering your own performance. So, I'm a racing driver. My job's to drive the car as fast as possible, and I feel like I'm doing a good job at the moment. So, I've got to be proud about that.
Yeah, the car's continuing to improve. I think that's. I think everyone's obviously taking a step, hopefully closer to the Red Bulls, and I think that's been really positive. But incredibly proud of everyone back at the factory, just how hard everyone's working and how resilient everyone is, and just everyone's just staying very focused, head down. And the morale's really great in the team, so I'm hoping that we can get closer to these guys and start actually competing at the front with these.
The track is very different than Monaco, obviously, with the characteristics. So also the weather is a little bit up and down at the moment. So yeah, let's try to capitalize on that and be on a higher par on that midfield.
Even still, we keep scoring, but have to be the standard that like top 10 is still in the things that if we achieve, that's a great thing. So we don't still not over expecting anything. Just race by race, keep scoring points and just try to make a gap from P7 onwards. But yeah, we're happy what we're doing so far.
Back in my young days, yeah, when I was just a little guy, I remember the Schumacher days, early 2000s. Coming to watch the race here was always a very exciting weekend. And yeah, I mean, inspired me in many ways to be here today, you know.
Somewhat optimistic. First of all, I love this place. I love this track. It's probably one of my favorites, if not the favorite. So looking forward to just to get out there. I really hope there's going to be some dry running too, and not just full wet. It's more low speed content, this circuit, which kind of, I think, helps and suits our car better.
A decade ago of your first Formula One win. Could you just tell me about your memories from that day and also your hopes for this weekend in a car that looks like it can score points regularly, but just had a few tricky weekends, I suppose?
Yep. Yeah, the hopes would be to replicate a decade later. Be a nice story. I remember everything. It's crazy. You know, sometimes I think when you have like this big moment in life, it can all just be a blur, you know, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just speaking out loud, but I'm not married, but maybe like people's wedding day, maybe there's so much going on that it's like, I don't even remember it, or I don't know. But it's maybe an example where things are just kind of moving too fast and you're just kind of caught up in it. But yeah, that whole weekend, I remember everything. I remember qualifying, the debrief after qualifying. I remember me writing my notes and then the file not saving, and I just chucked a tantrum in the engineering room because I just spent 45 minutes doing my homework and then it all got deleted. I remember going out that night for dinner. I remember so much. And then obviously the race, the moment crossing the line, all of it, you know. But I think that feeling was a relief because by that point, you know, my season had been going really well. I'd kind of established myself as a driver that could run up the front, and I'd kind of built that belief that I could do it. So yeah, crossing the line first, it was like a nice relief that it was like, okay, I believed it, but I showed I can do it. So big moment for me.
Coming into this weekend, we don't have a mega upgrade like we had last year, which would have which catapulted us to points. It's just going to be a continuation from Monaco, and in some ways I think this track is quite similar to Monaco, so we should be able to carry some of that performance across, but at the same time it's been resurfaced, weather's out at play, so it's going to be quite challenging.
It's a kind of a new track, you know, because it's completely resurfaced, so there's going to be a lot of new challenges, you know, that we've never seen in Canada. Obviously Jack is going to be driving, you know, it was important you know, for us to get that early. You know, there's 2 FP1s that we have to give as a team, you know, for rookie drivers, and you know, we've decided to take it here because also, you know, 5 grid, you know, place penalties is less biased towards qualifying. So for me, the preparation is more going to be on the long term on Sunday.
The fact that we can go in and hope to score points at, you know, basically all the tracks we've been to this year has been a huge positive. So coming to this track, it's another one that on paper looks like it's going to be decent for us. You know, the weather forecast is a bit of a curveball, but we'll see. We haven't run the car in wet conditions yet, so that's a bit of an unknown. But looking forward to this track. It's a fun one to drive. So yeah.
We know we're still a bit on the back foot, and we're trying to rethink a bit how we want to approach this car concept. So at the minute, it's mainly focusing on maximizing what we got, and you know, we can see a lot can happen on race days. So yeah, we'll see. We'll try again our best. We know we're fighting for a point, you know, right at the back of the top 10, but hopefully we can be in a position to repeat the performance of Monaco.
Yeah, I mean, not just to go too much into details, but we did analyze quite clearly, and also not just Monaco. I would say Imola was also a bit more trickier for us, but then yeah, the certain time with the track layout, it kind of plays a big role into that. So we're trying to, of course, improve when the track is a bit like that, a bit more bumpier. But yeah, it was a difficult few weeks, but I'm sure, you know, coming back to Montreal, it won't be the same story. So we need making sure we're there straight off, and hopefully we can making up some positions and some good results coming soon.
It's been tricky, and we definitely understood some things in Monaco about the setup and what could have been better, but still the gap that we had in qualifying, we haven't found all of that, you know. So I think it's been quite track-specific issues that we've had in Miami and Monaco. Obviously, this is again different track, so hoping for better performance. But it is tight, it is close, and still a positive thing is that the race pace is there. We just need to get a better qualifying position.
Yeah, I felt like well, the last few weekends have gone pretty well. At least from my side in the car, it feels good. I think the positive is that, you know, as a team, things are starting to come together. Weight is starting to come off the car, which is obviously good. And yeah, hopefully we can just continue what we're doing, and the results should come with that.